This thing is nothing but kombucha. So yeah, I'm going to make kombucha today and I'm going to show you how I do it. Welcome to Mohit's Self-Heat, yani ki khud se. I did it myself. So before I do that, I must show you, this is my last week's batch. You can see there is a layer of scobi, the main ingredient of making kombucha. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how I prepare my new batch as well as process the old batch and fill it into bottles and add some flavoring to it. So let's get started. So first of all, let me just take this small bottle and pour out as much kombucha as I can into this bottle. Okay, so I managed to get about 1.5 liters of kombucha from my previous batch. So I'm going to add some fruits in these two bottles and start the second stage of fermentation, which takes about 2 to 3 days depending upon the weather conditions. Now I've also left a little bit of kombucha in it, just so that the second batch that I start is easy to start processing. I already boiled 2 cups of water and put the tea in it for about 10 minutes and let it simmer until it cools down. I'm also going to add about 4 tea bags of green tea, which I have got. So for the green tea, you don't need the temperature to be too hot. So you might want to cool this liquid down a little bit and then add your green tea bags in it. So now I've brewed my tea for another 2 to 3 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is get rid of all the tea leaves from this water before adding sugar to it. So I'm using dark brown sugar, which is closest to the natural sugar from the sugar cane that you can find. So I'm just going to use half a cup of sugar. So at this stage, what I want to do is I want to check whether the sugar is right for me. If you feel that the sugar is less, you can add a little bit extra sugar to it. Now why I do it this way is because I can boil my tea in small amount of water and add cold water to it. Not really cold, it's just the room temperature water that is pre-boiled and it's not hot. So this solution gives me a quicker way to create a room temperature water that I need to put in my scobi. Now you can't add boiling hot or a lot of hot water in scobi because scobi is a living organism. If you put hot water in it, it might die and that the whole batch will become useless. You'll have to start from a fresh live scobi again. So my sugar is a little bit more than half cup. Okay, so now it's just the right temperature. It's slightly warmer than the room temperature. So let's go to the other side and put our new batch of kombucha into the scobi. Okay, so I'm going to strain it one last time. Okay, so that's it. We are done now. I can cover this up. Now to cover this up, I use a piece of cloth that is breathable. I just want to make sure that flies or fruit flies don't get into it. Scobi needs some air to breathe because this first stage is where the scobi will take up oxygen, and every now and then after every few days I will just open the cover up and just stir it a little bit, just enough so the trapped carbon dioxide bubbles can escape from the scobi, because scobi always forms a layer on the top. You want to make sure that when you start making your kombucha, your surfaces are clean, there's no mold or rotting material around, and all your utensils are clean so that you don't have any mold or fungus growing in your container. So now this is in the room temperature, but because it's winter over here, I'm going to keep it just above my kitchen stove shell so it gets maximum amount of warmth, not heat. So let's keep it away until about 3 or 4 days, and then I would taste it. The taste test is the test when you tell that your kombucha is ready. When you start losing the sweetness, that is the time you have to start making a decision whether you want to leave it for a few more days to turn it more tangy, or do you want it to just consume after that. Okay, so just wanted to show you guys. So there goes my kombucha new batch, and that, as you can see, is just above the stove. So it will stay warm in this condition as long as I keep using the stove. And that's it. So now moving on to the second stage, I've got 2 bottles. So today I'm going to add 2 flavors. I think I will use grapes for the bigger bottle. For the smaller bottle, I will use cherry. I also have some pomegranates. So I might chuck in some pomegranates in it, and I'm also going to experiment with a little bit of mint to see how the flavor turns out. Okay, so now I've got my fruits chopped up. So now the final stage, all I have to do is just add the fruits to the bottles, fill them up and airtight them, and put them in the room temperature in the same cabinet where my kombucha container is. So now there is a little bit of gap from the neck. I can later on fill it up with some more kombucha in it. As a last final touch, I just want to add some mint to add a little bit of minty flavor to it. That's it. All I'm going to do right now is seal it shut so no air can escape. Give it a little toss so all the mint leaves go down into the bottle. So I've got my second stage of kombucha in these 2 bottles. So it's time now to take them out and see how they're doing. So let's do it. So for this step, I'm going to use kitchen sink, just because the bottle is filled with carbon dioxide and it's very tight up here. If I let go of the cap, there's a good chance that it will splash all over the place. There's a fair amount of carbon dioxide in this bottle generated because of the fermentation process. And let's try how it tastes. Taste mint. Now I don't taste any sugar in it, and I have a little tangy taste at the back of my tongue. This is good fermentation. I can't taste a lot of cherries, but cherries already have very mild flavor to it, so it's hard to taste cherries. But the color tells everything. So the paleness of the fruits tell you that it has fermented. And I think I'm happy for this now to keep in the fridge. So there you go. So this is how you make kombucha. I hope you like it, and you can try and post your videos on what you have made, what flavoring you have done, and how you made your kombucha. Thanks.